All right, diving in today, we've got this fascinating article from Government Executive all about data security,
Yeah.
specifically how things are changing, especially for government agencies. They're dealing with a ton of sensitive information.
Right.
The big question that really jumps out, at least for me, how do you modernize your approach to security, but not lock everything down so tight that the data becomes unusable? It's a tough balance.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a real tightrope walk.
It is.
And I think this article does a great job of hitting on a really crucial point, which is
Okay.
that the old ways of doing things, putting up a firewall
Right.
and thinking it's just not going to cut it anymore.
Yeah.
The threats are evolving and we need to evolve with them.
Totally. It's not just about keeping the bad guys out anymore.
Right.
It's making sure that the right people
Exactly.
have access to the right information at the right time. And this is where this whole idea of zero trust security comes into play. And I know this is something that you guys, that StoneFly, are really deeply involved in. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Zero trust it's a huge shift in mindset.
okay.
Right. It's moving away from this idea of trust but verify to a model of never trust, always verify.
I like that.
So essentially, you're assuming that every user, every device could be compromised.
Wow.
So you are constantly verifying their identity and their access privileges every single time they try to access something.
So it's almost like having a bodyguard for every piece of data.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it feels especially relevant when we talk about government agencies.
For sure, yeah.
Just given the amount of sensitive information they're handling. What do you think sparked this whole shift towards zero trust? Why is it gaining so much traction now?
Well, I think there are a few factors at play.
Okay.
One is definitely the rise of remote work and cloud computing. Data is no longer confined to a secure perimeter.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's being accessed from all over the place on all sorts of devices. Employees are working from home.
Laptops, phones,
Business-
coffee shops, you name it.
Yeah, exactly. And that makes those traditional security measures like firewalls much less effective.
Yeah, the article mentioned a few other things too, like the increasing sophistication of cyber attacks. It feels like every other week there's news about some new data breach.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's not just small-time hackers anymore either. We're talking about organized crime,
Right.
nation-state actors. It's a whole different ballgame.
Absolutely. And the consequences are more significant than ever, especially for government agencies, right?
Yeah.
Think about the impact on national security, public safety, even just the erosion of public trust if sensitive information gets into the wrong hands.
That's huge.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's say you're a government agency, you're listening to this, you're like, okay, zero trust, we get it. How do you actually implement it? What are the practical steps involved?
Well, it's a multifaceted approach. It involves things like strong authentication, making sure that people are who they say they are,
Right.
continuous monitoring, keeping an eye on what's happening in your systems,
Right.
and very granular access controls. So making sure people only have access to the information they absolutely need.
Right. So it's not just like a one-size-fits-all approach.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where a company like StoneFly can really be a valuable partner.
Okay.
They provide data storage and management solutions that are specifically designed with zero trust principles in mind.
So let's break that down a bit.
Yeah.
What are some specific ways that StoneFly's solutions contribute to a zero trust environment?
Well, one key aspect is data encryption.
Okay.
They offer really robust encryption solutions that protect data both at rest and in transit.
So even if somebody manages to intercept the data, they can't read it.
Exactly. It's like putting it in a vault.
Yeah.
That can only be opened with the right combination.
Okay, so encryption is one piece of the puzzle.
It is, yeah. They also provide really granular access controls.
Right.
So agencies can control who has access to what specific pieces of data based on their role
Right.
and their responsibilities.
So you're really minimizing the risk by only giving people access to what they absolutely need to know.
That's the idea.
Now, I'm also thinking about data backup and recovery.
Yeah.
What if, despite all these measures, a breach does occur?
Well, that's where those backup and recovery solutions come in.
Okay.
StoneFly offers comprehensive solutions that allow agencies to quickly restore their data in the event of a breach.
So it's almost like an insurance policy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
An insurance policy for your data.
If something goes wrong, you've got that rewind button. You can get back to where you were.
Exactly.
It's funny, this whole conversation, it's making me think about my own personal data security.
Right.
It's easy to just kind of get complacent,
Yeah.
right? And think, oh, this will never happen to me. But
No, it happens to everyone.
yeah,
Yeah, we're all vulnerable. I think that's important to remember.
it is.
Strong data security practices aren't just for government agencies, it's for everyone.
We all have a responsibility to protect our own data. Be aware of the risks.
Absolutely.
So this has been a really, really insightful deep dive. I appreciate your time. Any final thoughts you want to leave our listeners with?
Yeah, I think the key takeaway here is that the security landscape is constantly evolving. We need to be proactive, you know?
Yeah.
Zero trust security is a powerful framework for meeting those challenges, and companies like StoneFly are providing the tools and solutions to help make that happen. So if you want to learn more, feel free to reach out to their team of experts at sales@stonefly.com.
Perfect. Thanks again for your expertise. And to our listeners, we'll leave you with this. How secure is your data? It's a question worth pondering. Until next time, keep diving deep. And if you want to learn more about StoneFly's data storage solutions, visit www.stonefly.com.
Great.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.